Good evening, hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. A 20-year-old girl riding her scooty on the eve of New Year died due to no fault of her own. Her scooty hit a speeding car. Apparently, her clothes got stuck in the wheels of the car and she was dragged under the wheels for over 10 to 12 kilometers. That's what reports have suggested so far. Of course, the girl did not survive and succumb to her injuries. Her body was found in a naked state. She was declared dead when she was brought to the hospital. The 5 accused in the case have been arrested. The mother of the victim has said that the sexual assault angle should also be probed into this case. This gruesome incident has raised some serious questions. First, how safe are the roads of the national capital? If 5 men can drive in an inebriated or a drunken state with a woman under their wheels for about 10 kilometers, then what does it tell us about the safety of the national capital, the safety of Delhi? It was New Year's Eve. Wasn't there supposed to be extra vigil on the roads? And most importantly, when an eyewitness called the police and raised an alarm, why didn't the police respond swiftly? Why was the precious time lost? The time which literally could have meant saving an innocent life. We discuss all these questions. First up, a special report.
A horrific start to 2023 in the national capital. A 23-year-old girl was hit by a car and dragged for several kilometers in the Sultanpuri area. The 23-year-old victim's body was found naked on the road when the police finally reached the spot. The 23-year-old girl was on her way back home after work on her scooty when a car allegedly hit her scooter and she fell off, got entangled in the car's wheel.
जो अभी तक का इन्वेस्टिगेशन है उसमें हमें ये जानकारी मिली है कि उस लड़की की जो बॉडी थी वो उस गाड़ी में कहीं स्टक की है और वो कई किलोमीटर तक लगभग 10-12 किलोमीटर तक उन्होंने ड्रैग किया है और फिर वो किसी टर्निंग के दौरान कहीं पर वो बॉडी गिरी है.
The victim's body was dragged from Sultanpuri to Khanjawala in Delhi before her body fell off on the road. Eyewitnesses informed the police that they saw a body was being dragged along with the car and the car took a U-turn near the police station.
अग्रसेन हॉस्पिटल वाला रोड है, उस रोड पे मैंने जैसे ही अपनी बाइक मोड़ी वहां से गाड़ी आई, मेरी बाइक उनकी गाड़ी से टकराने से बची और गाड़ी होगी मेरी अनबैलेंस. तो मैंने जैसे ही अपनी गाड़ी संभाली उनकी गाड़ी रोहिणी की तरफ को मुड़ चुकी थी. तो जब उनकी गाड़ी रोहिणी की तरफ को मुड़ी 100-150 मीटर की दूरी पर पुलिस चौकी है. उस पुलिस चौकी को देखकर उन्होंने वापसी गाड़ी मोड़ी कंजावला की तरफ को. जब उन्होंने गाड़ी मोड़ी सिंगल रोड पर तो गाड़ी में आवाज आई बहुत तेज. तो मोड़ने की स्पीड में जब गाड़ी मुड़ेगी तो तेज की आवाज आएगी. जब आवाज सुनकर मैंने पीछे मुड़ के देखा तो उस गाड़ी में से गाड़ी के पीछे से लड़की का सर लटक रहा था.
Massive protests have broken out in Delhi's Sultanpuri area. Protesters slammed police for going slow. AAP MLA Rakhi Birla's car was even vandalized when she visited the site.
हमारी कुछ डिमांड नहीं है, उन्हें हमारे हवाले कर दिया जाए. 500 तो हमारे हवाले कर दिया जाए. हमें फांसी चाहिए. बस हमें कुछ नहीं चाहिए.
इनमें जो 5 लोग हैं, इनमें से किसी को जानते हैं आप?
हम नहीं जानते. सब अनजान है, हमें नहीं पता इन चीजों का.
Politics has taken center stage over the incident, with BJP and AAP blaming each other. AAP protested outside the Delhi LG office, alleging that the accused were being shielded, while the BJP hit back, saying AAP is trying to settle its own scores with the LG.
ये बेहद शर्मनाक घटना है और समझ में नहीं आता कि हमारा समाज किस तरफ जा रहा है जब कुछ लड़कों ने अपनी गाड़ी से एक लड़की को कई किलोमीटर तक घसीटा और उसकी बहुत दर्दनाक मौत हो गई.
जब वो घटना हुई क्या उनको मालूम था, पुलिस वालों को मालूम था क्या कि ये लोग बीजेपी के लोग हैं या एलजी साहब के लोग हैं? किस तरह की बातें करते हैं, ये किस तरह की राजनीति कर रहे हैं? अपने स्कोर सेटल करने के लिए एलजी साहब के साथ जिस प्रकार का भाषा का प्रयोग किया जा रहा है, जिस प्रकार की राजनीति की जा रही है, वो निंदनीय है.
The big question is, has politics derailed Nyay in the Delhi hit-and-run horror?
Well, we'll ensure that the pertinent questions are not lost in the political noise which has dominated the day. Let's take you through some key visuals. How is it that the accused were nabbed? They were nabbed because there's CCTV footage on record to show us what exactly transpired. So let's have a look at this visual. You can see the scooty, the white circle is the scooty, the girl on the car. The girl was hit by the car and she was dragged for 10 to 12 kilometers. Now, the accused say they did not realize that she was under the car, and that is how the incident really played out. But this visual per se establishes that there's a girl who's going on a scooty. The scooty is under speed. She's not over speeding. She's not driving recklessly. So any kind of, aspersions on whether she was driving safe or not, that is set aside. She was driving perfectly fine at a reasonable speed. Let's move on and let's take you through another set of graphs. Now, the accused realized much later they removed the body from their wheels from the car and then fled the spot. Look at this visual. So here you can see there's a body which is stuck, and then the accused realized there's something wrong. They stopped. They were all drunk. And that's why even if a can hits your car, you sometimes realize that there's something beneath my wheels, I need to take care. And this was a human being. These are 5 men who didn't realize that they have mowed down somebody and somebody is stuck in the wheels. So they fled the spot, they removed the body and they fled the spot. Let's come to another set of visual. The 23-year-old's body was found naked on the road. Apparently the clothes were stuck in the wheels of the car and that is how she's naked. That's what the accused are saying. What the victim's family is saying is that they need an investigation on whether there's an angle of sexual assault or not. You see this turn that the car has taken. It continued to roam on the streets of Delhi for 10 to 12 kilometers. The eyewitness account, you remember, just said that, they realized there's a police chowki nearby, so they made a U-turn and they fled with great speed. That's another one. Let's move to another set of visuals. There are massive protests in Delhi's Sultanpur area, rightly so, and that's against the police authorities. You heard those angry women protesters who said, just hand us the accused, we will make sure justice is done. They're also saying that they've not been able to see the body of the girl who died. Imagine the plight of the family members. This was a girl returning home on her scooty. She was killed for no fault of her own, and the family members haven't even seen a body. Rightly so, there is anger on the streets. Let's go to the political angle of it. As expected, any case of this nature involves a political war reverse. The Aam Aadmi Party is protesting against Delhi LG. BJP has hit back. Well, it's a fact that the Delhi police is administered by the union government. LG, of course, is one of the nodal authorities when it comes to the administration of the national capital. And the Aam Aadmi Party would want to politically make that point that, look, Delhi is not safe under the Union of India or under LG. So they also get the opportunity to make their own political point. I want to cut across to my colleague Anshul. Anshul has been reporting from the ground and, she's been telling us what exactly has been happening as far as Delhi police investigation is concerned. There's an important press conference that was conducted by the Delhi police as well. I want to go across to Anshul first. Anshul, first to you. There are some very important questions that have been raised on the conduct of the Delhi police. The first and the most important one. We don't expect the police authorities to be on the spot in every nook and corner. But this was the New Year's Eve. It was expected that there would be tighter vigil on the roads of Delhi. And if there is a car which has somebody who they've mowed down and it's stuck between the wheels and they're roaming for 10 to 12 kilometers, what was the police doing? Where exactly was their patrolling cars? And more importantly, when a call was made, you spoke to an eyewitness as well. Why did they take 40 minutes to respond?
So yes, the Delhi police has continuously been saying that they were on the vigil at that night, and many teams of the Delhi police were already deployed. In fact, the police commissioner of Delhi, Sanjay Kumar himself, was on a round on the intervening night of 31st of December and the 1st of January, just to keep a check on the security and on the kind of arrangements that were made by the Delhi police. On the 29th of December, yet again a very big press conference was conducted by the Delhi police, in which they had said that they are deploying 16,000 police officials across the length and breadth of the national capital, and also 1,300 pickets would be put in place. But yes, the manner in which the entire incident happened, because remember, all these things happen in central Delhi, in South Delhi, where there are posh areas, where there are people who will actually raise questions if something untoward happens. But in areas like the outer district, the laxity of the police was very, very clearly visible. We saw that the eyewitness that we spoke to also said that even after he went ahead and informed the beat officers that he had seen something unprecedented, he has seen something that is disturbing him, the officers did not respond there. Also, they said that since you are fine, you should go away. We'll look into the matter. So yes, the Delhi police has a lot to answer in this entire investigation that is going on. But yes, as you mentioned, the press conference that was done by the Delhi police today, the Delhi police came out and said that they're investigating the case from each and every angle now. Unlike what the DCP had said yesterday, that it does not seem that any rape has happened or any sexual or there is any case of sexual assault in this entire matter. Now the Delhi police, after the kind of media pressure and after the kind of political pressure that has been built on them, they are now saying that they're investigating the case from all the angles. And also I would like to give an update to our viewers that the post-mortem of the victim has come to an end, which was happening at the Maulana Azad Hospital, and the post-mortem has come to an end.
I wanted to pause there for a second. Anshul, just pause there for a second. Anshul has mentioned a very important point, which is about the sexual assault. Now, whether the allegation of the family that whether there was some kind of sexual assault before the death of the victim or not, that can only be confirmed or rejected based on a post-mortem. The police made a statement before the post-mortem was conducted. Now, we are also getting some updates as far as that post-mortem report is concerned, that post-mortem has been conducted and that procedure is over. Anshul, coming back to you and taking that particular aspect with you, that the post-mortem, how crucial and critical it is, because it's going to tell us a lot of things. What exactly was the cause of death? Was there any sexual assault? Is there any substance in the allegations which is being made by the family? Is there something more than what meets the eye right now?
So yes, I spoke to a very senior official of the Delhi police as well, and what he told me that prima facie the condition in which the body was, it did not seem like that any sort of sexual assault had happened, because yes, the body was found absolutely naked, but yes, the condition in which the body was, prima facie, it did not seem like that any sort of sexual assault had happened. But yes, as you rightly mentioned, that the post-mortem has now been conducted. We are expecting that the family members would take over the body in the next few hours, is what we have been told. But yes, that needs to be confirmed from the family side. The Delhi police also told us that cremation could happen today if the post-mortem is completed on time. But since it is sundown and according to the Hindu rituals, things like cremation do not happen after the sun is down. So we are expecting that the cremation might happen tomorrow.
And Anshul, very briefly from you, the police is expected to tell us about the details of the post-mortem. That's what the commissioner said today in the press conference. Is that right?
So yes, the post-mortem report would be out in the next few days, and the police will themselves come out and tell us the exact details of what came out in that post-mortem, and if at all any sort of sexual assault happened with the victim is also something that the police will have to clarify, because
and Anshul, from that reportage we go to some big questions. I want to take all these big questions to our guest as well. Well, it's good that the politicians are responding to this story, but this should be a responsible discussion. We should ensure that the streets of the national capital are safer for women, for men, for anybody who's there out on the streets. What did the cops do after receiving the distress call at around 3:30 a.m.? Why were they not swift in their response? Why did it take 40 minutes for the crime team to reach the spot once the first call was made? Was there no check post in the entire route that was taken by the accused, roughly 12 kilometers? Well, how did the accused not realize there was a body under the car? That entire thing that the accused are saying is very, very difficult to believe, other than the fact that they're saying that they were drunk. If they were drunk and driving, then that's another heinous offense that they have committed. On the show tonight, we ask the key question: has the politics on this issue derailed the entire call of justice? BJP, the Aam Aadmi Party, they both are responding and attacking each other. But the larger cause of justice will require some pertinent questions to be asked. I want to cut across to my guests as well, who are joining us on the show. Richa Pandey from the BJP, Kapil Sankla, who's a senior advocate at the Supreme Court, Mr. L.N. Rao, who's a former DCP of Delhi, and we also have Priyanka Kakkar from the Aam Aadmi Party. I'm coming to you first, Richa, because the Delhi police directly reports to the union government, and it's only pertinent that right questions are asked. You're a woman yourself, and you and I know how difficult it is for women to step out at any hour of the day. More so if it's a secluded area, if it's at night. We all take 100 precautions before stepping out. But this entire effort of the government and the police authority has to be that the streets have to be safer. It was not just another day. It was 31st night. The New Year's Eve, the streets of the national capital were supposed to be patrolled and heavily policed. Do you think there's a error that has been done by the police here?
Good evening to all of you.
Good evening.
Despite tighter vigil on the streets of Delhi, despite all the action and all the preparation which Delhi police did, we all started our new year with a jolt. After witnessing such a heinous offense, we all started our new year very sadly. And today, I'm sure, and I know of that all the top custodians of Delhi, who are the custodians of law and order and of welfare, are in conversation and are tracking this case on real-time basis. And especially Lieutenant Governor of Delhi is on this case on a real-time basis from yesterday morning itself. He has also instructed the police commissioner to strictly ensure that the accused are treated as per law, irrespective of their standing and political affiliations.
Risha, allow me to interject you. My purpose here as an anchor is not to bash the Delhi police or the BJP in any manner, but it's important because a very precious life has been lost for no fault of her own, and this is about the larger women's safety issue. There needs to be some strong questions that need to be asked from the Delhi police when it comes to their response. Yes, the LG has responded. Yes, the commissioner has made a statement, but a life has been lost. And we need to responsibly ask our establishment and our systems that when a distress call is made to them, why do they take 40 minutes to respond and reach the spot? If there is a Zomato delivery guy who told the police officers or some constables who were plying on the street that something like this has happened, they took it very casually. Those are eyewitness accounts. This is a huge gap. It's a huge lapse in the response on the part of the Delhi police.
I agree that whatever you are saying is correct, and such things cannot be left in a very shabby manner. Strict vigilance should have been on the roads, and it was yesterday on the New Year's Eve. There was a tighter vigil as compared to the other days, but yet there is a lapse, and we are seeing that there is a lapse on multiple folds, and action will be taken. We should all have faith in our custodians of law and welfare, and I am confident that action will be taken, and my heart and my party's heart is with the family of the victim today.
Well, imagine the plight of the parents who have not yet seen the dead body of their daughter. She was returning home. She's killed for no fault of her own. I'm coming to you, Priyanka, and taking in a word from you. The Aam Aadmi Party has rightly asked some questions from the union government, from the LG's office. In the public interest, would you like to reiterate those questions? And another question is, which the BJP is saying, that you're trying to politicize this entire issue for your own benefit. You're not worried about justice. Respond to that as well.
Anusha, good evening to everyone. Anusha, it is extremely sad kind of pain that woman would have gone through, under the wheels for 14 kilometers, 1.5 hours of dragging her under the car. Imagine the kind of pain she went through. I saw some pictures on social media. We don't just want to discuss this and then go away and come back on another case which happens. Very recently we saw there was an acid attack in Delhi. Now, unfortunately, LG in Delhi is seen on two occasions. One is when he has to take credit for any Delhi government's work, and the other is when he has to obstruct any Delhi government's work.
One second, Rishaji.
Let me speak. Why should I?
If there is drunken driving, I will bring in 1+1=3. I will bring in excise policy. I will bring in many things which you will not like. Let us
1 second. Richaji, my earnest, 1 second, Priyanka ji. Richaji, my earnest request, one person at a time, please. Make your point, Priyanka.
She had a chance.
Priyanka,
He
make
had
your
a
point.
say.
Priyanka, make your point.
Anusha ji, the simple thing is that, it is so unfortunate what is coming across from media reports is that there is a distress call made at 3:18 and the person keeps calling till 5 a.m. and there is no response. He stops at 3 PCRs, one of them completely drunk. He names the PCR van which is drunk. He says it was at Balrampur. When will action be taken against these police officers? Why has action not been taken?
Okay,
When
fair
will
point,
LG
fair
wake
point.
up to the fact that there are 209 police stations in the city state and he's not visited one or taken any
Okay. I wanna bring in other guests
It
as
is
well.
like-
Mr. Ellen Rao and Mr. Kapil Sankla are also with us on the broadcast. Kapil, I'll give you the last word. But before that, Mr. Ellen Rao, do you find the conduct of the police authorities and whatever details that I've enlisted in the last 15 minutes as a huge lapse on their part and a dereliction of their duty?
Anushka, this is, I think allegations against Delhi police are so serious about it. This case is from the very beginning. I don't think that it has been taken on a serious note. And all these statements given by the police initially that it is a simple accident case, that is not at all tolerable. Because keeping in view the circumstances under which that poor girl has been killed, and this is not acceptable and it's not believable also to a common person. Because if somebody hits any vehicle, then the driver and the inmates of that car definitely come to know whether something has happened or not.
It's a human body. You can't drive with the human body underneath your wheel for...
You can't drive. Not even a single... Any part of anything is stuck in the vehicle, then
it'll make noise. I mean, all of us drive. We know that it's not possible what the theory is being put out.
Only believing the version of the 5 persons and saying that what they have said, the police believe that version and they simply said this is a simple hit and run case that is not acceptable.
Because there's a BJP neta involved.
Yes.
We'll come to that. Priyanka will come to that.
That is things apart. Who is involved? That is not a question here. The person who has killed that poor sole earning of that family, that poor guy, that has been killed by someone, and there is mainly an accused, whether it belongs to some party or not. That is separate thing.
And Mr. Rao, you said something very important, that at the outset, the core of this entire theory should be questioned, that how can you really drive with a person stuck beneath your car for 10 to 12 kilometers? That is not possible. It's practically thinking not possible. Common sense tells us that there is something wrong. Kapil, I'm coming to you. And you've seen more than any of us a lot of cases of hit and run in the courts of law. While we may make huge cry of justice in television studios and on the streets, when it comes to actually booking these people, many would argue that we don't have stringent sections in the statute book. 304 Part 2 is not as stringent as it should be. We have seen many other cases in the past where people have been let off after community services. I don't need to tell you which case I'm talking about.
You're right. You see, as tragic it is that a human life has been lost in such a gruesome manner, I'm going to be the devil's advocate for a second here. One, I agree with the gentleman here. The police is culpable, they're responsible and they're answerable. And it is tragic that nobody is actually asking the police what they've done. Having said that, to actually point fingers at the LG or the center, that is actually politicizing the issue. You stick to the police, I understand completely. Now, as far as the law is concerned, you're absolutely right. It is very unfortunate that there are no stringent laws. And you're talking about 304 Part 2. I'm actually talking about 304A, which is rash and negligent driving. Maximum punishment 2 years. Nothing much comes out of it. 304 Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 says that when you know that will take place, that is 10 years in life. And the other is much weaker, where you say that you've been driving in a certain way, where you had the knowledge but not the intention. So it actually weakens down. So as far as the laws are concerned, yes, you're absolutely right. But I wonder, what were these 5 people doing driving about in Delhi without any checkpost and without any person checking them? I mean, I go from here to Gurgaon, I get checked twice. So I'm actually wondering that in the capital of Delhi, how come there was no police wala on that particular day? I understand what these people have done is heinous. Completely agreed. The matters under investigation, whether they were truly drunk, not drunk, whether there was something else that took place, whether there was molestation, rape, whether there was gang rape, all of those are questions which are, for a later date once the investigation is over. But the question here is very moot. That these people were driving around with a human body stuck in the car. and there was no check post, no checking, no police, nothing that stopped them. And there was one good Samaritan who found out, who discovered, who went running from pillar to post without any police officer coming to his rescue and help. I mean, that is what is actually truly shocking, as well as what has happened to that
for the police, for any police officer, and I ask this to you as a student of law, because you've seen such cases, for a police officer to make a statement before the post-mortem report that it doesn't look like a case of a sexual assault, I find that very triggering, Kapil.
To be very honest, as a lawyer, I don't really find that a trigger point, and reason is this, that on the prima facie case, the case is that, and to be the devil's advocate, as I said, 5 people, probably, I don't know how drunk they were, drunk, with the windows up, music loud. There could be a situation where these idiots might not have discovered what has happened. I mean, as tragic and as shocking it is, but that is a logical defense that they would come up with, and it also could stick. Having said that, for a police officer to prejudge the issue is not very professional, is not becoming of a police officer. He should have said that the matter is under investigation, because there is a case where the body was without any clothes. Whether that was because it got ripped apart or whether there was something more is a matter of investigation.
Exactly.
I don't think it is fair for a police officer this way or that way to prejudge the issue.
Priyanka,
I mean, he should have just stuck that the matter is under investigation. We will get back after.
I have last 3 minutes on the show. Priyanka, coming back to you, dharna in front of the LG office, or asking questions from the LG, or saying that the police is not doing their job because there's a BJP leader involved. Isn't that politicization of the issue? I mean, in many cases, even when there are no political netas involved, we see a lot of times where the police has faltered and has not behaved in the most professional manner. Perhaps that's the case here as well. Why bring politics into this entire issue, which is about larger women's safety and safety on the roads of the national capital? Priyanka.
Anusha, you saw that one thing we all agree with, that, you know, that the police prejudged the matter and already ruled out sexual assault before the post-mortem report. One. Secondly, the police is giving statements like music was playing and therefore they could not, they had no idea of what was stuck under the car. That, why it doesn't make sense to me, because they admit that they knew that kisi ko takkar mari hai. And it is only after political pressure that you saw that forensics went there after 48 hours. It's not that the road was sealed off to collect evidence. There was nothing done there, and it is only after the political pressure that the police was also forced to say that they will investigate all angles. It is only after the political pressure that the police was forced to say that the forensics were sent today, after 2 days. So it is absolutely important that the LG be held accountable for this, because the police come directly under the LG. Even the Home Minister of the country, Amit Shah ji, should be held accountable, because he is making plans for Dora of Lok Sabha elections.
I want to cut across.
That is what his duty
I have
is.
last 1 minute. Richa, I'm coming to you.
More than political, I think it is media pressure that works. I think
in these cases, media does the good job of raising all these questions in the larger public interest.
Kapilji, it doesn't matter howsoever it works.
Richaji, I'm coming to you. Richaji, I'm coming to you. There's a very particular attack which has been made on the BJP, that because there's a BJP neta involved, that's why the police has not done its duty properly. Respond to that.
Nobody will be spared, whichever party, political party, any affluent person, nobody should be spared and nobody will be spared. LG has categorically, said this, and Delhi CM and Delhi LG are in conversation with each other. Police Commissioner is in constant touch. All the top officials are tracking this case. So nobody will be spared, that is for sure. This case will be taken and should be taken in fast track courts. And one more thing is that we should all stand with the victim's family and should not politicize this case, because the family, their heart has been ripped apart.
We are talking to a party which harbors criminals.
And the people of Aam Aadmi Party, they are protesting outside. When the Delhi CM is already holding talks with Delhi LG, what is the point to politicize it? 2-3 days back,
as a woman
more
and
than
as a
10
journalist,
people
and more
died
importantly
in
as a
Husum,
citizen of this country, somebody who
out
lives in Delhi,
cold.
who
But
steps out at
does
night
that
very
hold
often,
Delhi?
my only request to both the political party is that please continue this politics, please continue this conversation, this, allegations and counter allegations, but don't forget the larger cause of public justice, which is very, very important in a matter like this. I thank all my guests for joining us on the broadcast. Well, the post-mortem has been conducted. We expect the police to come out with the details very, very soon, but we'll continue tracking this story because this is a demand for justice that the family has raised. With that, it's a wrap from my side. Thank you for watching.